This is the plaintiff, Stanley Rose. He says he brought his bike to the defendant's repair shop to get some work done on it. And the guy stole his brand new motor and swapped it with an old motor that died on him. That's right. This man's as sneaky as they come. And he's here to show him that he can't get away with ripping him off like that. He's suing for $282, the amount he's now owed. This is the defendant, Steve Stevenson. He says the plaintiff came to his shop a few times for repairs, and on the last occasion he accused him of stealing his engine. He purchased a cheap motor that broke down on him. Now he's making up lies thinking he's going to get a new motor for free. Ha! He's accused of bilking a biker.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff brought his bike to the defendant's repair shop and says that the guy switched his new motor for an old one. But the defendant says lies, lies, lies. It's the case of motor mouth.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Hello. So you had a bicycle. I'm trying to understand this. It's an actual bicycle that you put a motor on?
Yes.
How's that work out? Fine?
Yes, it does.
So do you pedal or you don't
You pedal it to get it started, you engage the clutch, and then you give it gas and you go.
Okay, so it's not a motorcycle, it's a bicycle.
It's a motorized bike.
Motorized bike.
Yes.
All right, so now, is this your first motorized bike?
No,
or
it isn't the first one.
All right. And it isn't the first time you take a motorized bike to the defendant either,
No,
right?
it isn't.
You've had repairs done by him before.
Yes, I have.
All right, so you take it to him in this time in question in order to do what?
Put a new motor on it.
Okay, had there been a prior motor on it?
The other motor that I had, the other bike that I had a motor on it, it was stolen.
Okay, so you had another bike stolen. So now you bought a regular bike, and then you bought a regular motor, and then
Yes.
a
A brand
motorized
new
bike
motor,
motor,
yes.
and then you asked him to
on
put
for
it
me.
together.
Yeah.
Was it used or new?
Brand new motor, right out the box.
May I see the receipt for your new motor?
It's on my phone from eBay.
That's fine. While you're looking, when he brought you the motor, was it inside of a box?
Yes, it was.
And was the box sealed?
Yes.
What brand was the motor? Do you remember?
It was just some off-brand. It was just
Okay,
like
hold on.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you bought a kit,
Yes, it's called the kit.
and then you put it together?
Yes. What is it? It's got the basic motor, and it comes with the carburetor, the clutch, the throttle, and all that. And just got to put it all together on the bike.
So what happens? You put it together and you put it on the bike?
Put it together, put it on. Well, I had my friend help me because I had hip surgery at the time. I was still recovering. And so he gave me a hand putting it on, and he got it started because the first start is kind of hard because you got to pedal it and get it going. And it's like ploop, 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 pedal, pedal, ploop, 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 until it gets it going. And it was riding fine. He came, I called him up, he came and got it. He drove off.
Wait, you didn't just describe something that sounded like it was running fine?
Well, the first start is a little hard. I mean, once it started running, it runs fine. It was running fine. Stanley came and picked it up. It was running fine. He came back. The clutch cable came a little loose, so I tightened that back up for him because, it stretches every now and then. Sometimes they stretch. So I tightened that back up for him. He left. It was fine. A few weeks later, he shows up at my house, telling me that the carburetor is flooding out. And then there's problems with it. Well, I didn't make the carburetor, nothing like that. So I told him, well, if there's a problem with the carburetor, I'll look at it. And I'll charge him a few bucks to fix it. And he was unhappy about it and stormed off and said, well, I'm going to sue you. And then the next thing I know, he's saying that
Okay, but how many times did he bring it back to you between the time you fixed it and the time he said, I'm going to sue you?
The one time.
One time he brings it back, it's a few weeks later, and he tells you there's a problem. And
Yes.
you tell him, I'll take a look at it, but you got to pay me because I didn't make the carburetor, and then
Yeah.
he storms off.
Yes. And then
All
he
right.
started saying that I switched the motors, that I put my son's motor on there. My
Okay,
son didn't
why
have a
was he
motor.
do you know why he was saying that you switched the motors?
I have no idea.
Does your son have a motor on a motorized bike?
He did last year, but he got in an accident and he totaled it and the bike was stolen. He wrote a letter.
Or was it totaled or the stolen? Which one?
Was both. He smashed into it, was stolen, and the ambulance came, picked him up, and took him to the hospital.
Where was it stolen from?
William and Bailey.
No, I mean, was it stolen from the scene of the accident?
Scene of the accident, yes.
And that was a year ago.
It was October 18th, 2018.
6, 7, 8 months before this.
Well, it's almost a year. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you think that he switched motors on you? Why
Yes.
is it that you think that?
I didn't know this. Can you put a motor on a bicycle?
I think if it works, why not?
Does it work? Has anybody done that? Anybody here done that? Can you do it?
I think so. Why not?
I don't know.
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, how do you put a motor on a bike when you pedal?
I have no idea.
Super glue?
Super glue, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Duct
Yeah.
tape.
You're going to win the race. Going inside the courtroom.
I seen the motor on his son's bike in his garage when he first invited me to work on my first bike. He even showed me the initials that he put on the TS. And
What's
on,
your son's name?
Cody Stevenson.
Do you have a son with the initial T?
No.
Is there anyone in your house with the first initial T?
No.
Why'd you have to think?
Okay, well, my other half, her name is Patricia. Sometimes people call her Trish.
Okay. And is her last name Stevenson?
No, it's Humbert.
Okay. Show me, let's look at some pictures of this, because I am kind of curious how it is that there is a TS on the, what is that?
What it was is he asked me to put like a little squiggly or something on the motor so it could be identified because of the last motor being stolen. And instead of putting like a little squiggly thing, that's something that I always put on like drawings and stuff that I've done, so that it identifies that I did it. And
But
so I
how
put,
does it identify that you did it?
because that's a mark that I put on like my drawings and stuff like that. So he wanted something that would identify that.
Yeah, but why do you put TS on your drawings? Is
It's
that a
just-
TS or what is it?
It's just a little symbol that I came up with. I mean,
And why did you come up with it? Tell me about the symbol.
I don't know. It's something I did when I was like a teenager. Just a little squiggly line. I kind of liked the way it looked, so I kept putting it on things, my drawings and stuff like that.
Do you have anything that has that you could show me from some other time?
On my finger, because I liked I put it on my finger.
A tattoo or
Yeah.
you come right on up? It's an actual tattoo. It's not.
I like the symbol, so I don't know. So I was a teenager, young and dumb. So it just identifies something that I did.
Go back. Would you like to see his finger?
No, I don't want to see his finger.
Okay. Did you ask him to put an identifying mark on it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So
but
why do you think that that is his son's? What evidence do you have that that is his son? He doesn't even have a son with the initial T, and he's got a tattoo
But-
on his finger that has that symbol.
Okay. That was on another bike in his garage when
Yes, because he puts that symbol on stuff. Did you ask him to put a symbol, a squiggly line? Yes?
when I-
Well, then that's his squiggly line. So
when I
there's probably
asked
a
him-
bunch of motors that have that.
But if you look on the air cleaner, there's another burn mark on there that didn't come from the factory.
When you come into court, you have the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence that what you are saying is true. What evidence do you have that he defrauded you the way you are accusing him of? It's this, you filed a lawsuit saying that's his son's motor because I've seen that mark when you know darn well that you asked him to put a mark. The mark is on his finger on a tattoo. So you have zero evidence, zero, that he switched motors on you. But I'm just telling you that you are not going to get your money back from him on the premise that he switched motors and put his son's motor on there when you have zero evidence to back you up. And he has a tattoo on a finger with that mark that you, look how clear it is that he's holding the door for me already, with that mark that you asked him to put on the bike. Verdict for the defendant.
Well, it didn't go too well for the plaintiff this morning, Mr. You don't look too happy right now. What are you thinking?
Well, that's the only evidence I had, but he did switch my motor. He didn't put the motor that I bought him.
Well, you just didn't have the proof, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you going to do with it?
Oh, I'm fine.
You okay?
I'm gonna take care of it.
You'll get it fixed.
Yeah. I got it fixed
Oh,
already.
you got it fixed now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cost me $90.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Good luck next time, okay?
All right.
You must sign some documents. All right, Mr. Stevenson. Okay. Were you shocked when he sued you?
Yes, I was. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
I think you lost a customer, though. What do you think?
Well, I have a lot of customers.
You do? You can
Yes.
do without him?
Yes.
Okay.
People like that I can do without.
Good luck to you then. Thank you very much. All right, Harvey?
So, we talk about this a lot, Doug, that, people sometimes come into court with a theory. It could only be so-and-so who did this. You can never win a case on a theory. You can never win a case on a theory. And this plaintiff had no evidence. That's what wins cases.